And let's now go across to our correspondent Philip Matthews joining us from Sriharikota. He'll be tracking developments on that front. Philip, good morning. It's going to be a very special one for ISRO because they're going to be launching into 3 different orbits at 3 different altitudes. The main highlight, of course, is going to be the EMISAT satellite, which is a surveillance and intelligence satellite. Just tell us more about this launch in overall and the EMISAT in particular, how this is going to be so very special.
Well, that's right. In fact, this launch has 2 objectives. One, of course, is to launch EMISAT, which will make measurements of the electromagnetic spectrum. And as you mentioned, this is a satellite that has obvious defense applications, including, electronic intelligence, electronics intelligence purposes also. So this is something that will clearly bolster India's defense capabilities. Apart from that, the other main aspect about this is that this is a new variant of the PSLV rocket that is being used. As you mentioned in your story earlier, this is a rocket in which 4 strap-on motors are being used in the first stage. And the basic purpose here is to ensure that, enough thrust is given so that, the satellites are able to separate on time and in their intended orbit. For the first time, we will be seeing the 4th stage of the rocket coming down to 3 different orbits. The first, of course, EMISAT will be ejected at around 504 kilometers. Then the rocket will be brought down to 485 kilometers. At 749 kilometers, EMISAT will be ejected, and thereafter it will be brought down to 504 kilometers, during which the 28 commercial satellites will be launched. Of course, these satellites include 24 from the USA, 2 from Lithuania, and 1 each from Spain and Switzerland. They will be used for a variety of objectives, from Earth observation to satellite communication, to tracking ships, moving ships and planes, as well as for purposes like the Internet of Things. So these are varied applications. And then finally, the most unique aspect of this is that the 4th stage will then be brought down to 485 kilometers, when the 4th stage will become a platform to carry out experiments. 3 different sorts of experiments. One is, of course, an automatic identification system, which will be used for maritime applications to capture messages that are transmitted from ships. The other is an automated packet repeating system, which will monitor position data that will assist amateur radio operators. And the final, of course, payload is a payload from the Indian Institute of Space Science, which will be used for analyzing the ionosphere and to study its composition. So clearly, ISRO attempting to achieve multiple objectives with this launch, and thereby, bolster the strength of PSLV in the space launch market.
Absolutely, and this is going to be PSLV's 47th mission to the space, Philip, and that is why, it is also going to be very important. Now, the EMISAT is being termed as the India's newest spy in the sky. So, and you clearly told us the benefits that it's going to be, providing as far as defense application, electronic intelligence, enhancing defense capabilities concerned. But talking about this mission in particular, Philip, in a bit more detail, because so important, because the first time ISRO will be putting these satellites in 3 different orbits, like I mentioned earlier, at 3 different altitudes, clearly demonstrating its new technology. So this is going to be a great first, really, for the ISRO.
Absolutely, because don't forget that one of the main objectives of ISRO is to project its capabilities in the international launch market.
Absolutely,
and the PSLV, you must understand, is a very robust, low-cost vehicle that's used for launching satellites in the low to medium class, and that is something that ISRO has now made it its own area of expertise, and therefore there's no doubt whatsoever that a successful launch will again further reinforce ISRO's reputation as a low-cost and reliable, launch service provider.
Sure.
Of course, apart from that, the other obvious benefits, of course, are that it will help ISRO to further, improve the versatility of the PSLV as a launch vehicle, so that it can be used not just for, launching commercial satellites, but also carrying out various experiments in space. So this will enable PSLV to be put to multiple uses, and thereby enhance its cost effectiveness.
Absolutely. All right, Philip Matthews, thanks very much for joining us for the moment and filling us in with all those details. We'll of course be touching base with you once again when that launch takes place, and of course, yes, in the final countdown to that launch as well in our subsequent bulletins. Thanks very much.